You know, when there's a story, my friends, that is so devoid of anything even remotely interesting, you say, I'm not gonna respond to that. Nobody cares about that. And then you say, I gotta say something. And then you say, nah, I'm not gonna say it again. That's stupid. That's a no-brainer. Then you think, yeah, it's a no-brainer, but you know what? I should say something about it. I should say something. Well, my friends, here's the story. Corinne Jean-Pierre, this nincompoop, absolutely positively one of the most, seriously, the most incompetent anythings in the history of incompetence. I mean, let me see if I can say this again straight. This woman is absolutely devoid of even the rudiments of competence in the least. Do you remember the horrors? Do you remember watching her look at her book and she did the shrug? She knew nothing. If truth be told, she probably did not ever even meet with Joe Biden. I mean, not that it matters, not that anybody really cares, but I mean, this is it. And she's leaving the Democratic Party. She's becoming an independent. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? I wish I could say what were your favorite moments of hers, because, by the way, I hope you can hear me okay. I don't have a microphone in, but I figured this will work. This will work. We've got Fred's there. Gracie Loves George says, hello, everyone. Help me, Rhonda. Who we talking about? Corinne Jean-Pierre. Corinne Jean-Pierre. Corinne Jean-Pierre. Who cares about that irreverent clown? That's my favorite. Who cares? It's in the news today. You know that, right? You do know that. It was in the news today. She announces it. Everybody's talking about it. Who cares about it? I mean, I'm not saying we're going to be losing any sleep over it, but who cares? You don't even think it's even interesting to note that a person who never even ever spoke to I was going to say Truman, I don't know why, who spoke to, what's his name? Never spoke with him. Never. That she's changing parties? The hubris of this? No, I'm serious. I know sometimes we say, who cares? But do you really mean, do you really honestly mean who cares? You don't see anything at all even worthy of this? You don't see anything even remotely? I mean, it's okay. You can say you don't care, but really? Why do we, I don't want to jump on you, but why is that a reaction to anything? Who cares? That means I don't understand it, or I'm not following this, or I don't see it. But who cares? I know I'm making a lot out of this. It's one of my favorite reactions. I always think, why do you say that? Or people who say, "Oh, I don't watch news, or I don't care about that." Well, why not? Well, I don't know. I don't care about it. It's always I don't care. I don't care. It's unimportant to me. This is kind of sort of important. And why do you think that is? Anytime you get to see a fracture of any kind in the Democratic Party, for whatever it's worth, anytime, it means something. It's relevant. I know that may not seem to you, but it really is. It's relevant. There's something to be said for that. There really, honest to God, is. Because my dream, as you probably know, is to see the Democratic Party collapse. Collapse on its own weight. You understand that? You dig what I'm saying? And to see that happen would be so wonderful, because that would mean that people like AOC and others along the way would feel the total collapse, the total the demise of that which is the Democratic Party. So that's kind of why you should care. This is somebody who theoretically was close to the president, close to, never saw him. And after you've left your position as a press secretary, she of course was a lesbian. She was let me see what else. She was a lesbian, And I think, if memory serves me, she was a lesbian. And somehow that's all that mattered to these folks. That was of some particular note. So anyway, so after you've spent time with Joe Biden, think about this. After you've spent time with Joe Biden, upon leaving, what if Kelly McEnany left, or Caroline Levitt left, or whoever, and left the party? Still say who cares? Still think it's irrelevant? I mean, it's up to you. I think it's pretty good. In any event, all I'm saying is always stay away from two things: who cares, and also stay away from I don't know. I don't know is a very dangerous thing. Very dangerous. Always stay away from I don't know. And the reason why you should always stay away from I don't know is because it just doesn't sound good. You know what I mean? Certain things you should always say, well, I kind of know that. Very important. Very, very critical. Now at 8 o'clock later today, dear friends, my interview, I just did a beaut with Colonel Douglas McGregor. 8:30 it'll drop. Make sure you sign up. Make sure you are. It is one of the best interviews you have. And you'll see old Colonel McGregor laugh. I get him to laugh. And the reason why is because it's two like-minded folks speaking. I think he had a very good time. I had a thrill. It is one of, that expression people say, where they say, I was so excited. I was so excited. I was so excited and so excited and blah, blah, blah. And people say, what are you excited about? Well, I'm just excited. I'm so, hey, we're going to try these chicken fajitas, and I'm excited. And I think to myself, I don't even think people, I think the word's kind of overdone. I was actually excited. I looked forward to it. I absolutely look forward to it. But the big story, and they're going to be talking about it tonight, is Karine Jean-Pierre, and I'm saying this right now, leaves the Democratic Party and becomes an independent. Why? And doesn't know why. No, I know it doesn't really matter in the meantime, but I find it fascinating. And that's why I think it's interesting. Because anything I can do. Today I did a wonderful show. It was the Forum? No, it's called The Forum. It was very good with my good friend Peter Lavelle, George Semuli, some other folks, one from Paris, one from South Africa. Peter's in Moscow. Semuli, I think, is it Budapest? I think he's there. And then we have someone from, I think, the UK. And we were talking about the various goings on, if you will, of the party, of the world. And it was a fascinating interview about how Trump is changing everything. Now, let me ask you a question, my friends. Simple question. And be honest, and I beg you, all I ask you to do is try to take this as seriously as you can. I know sometimes I catch people and they say, hey, I want to just jump on board and just say something because, I don't know, I got nothing to do and, whatever. And I know you mean well. And I know you're trying to be, funny, but you know how that goes. Because sometimes, I got to tell you, sometimes when you're funny, it's not so funny. But my first question to you, dear friend, is simply this. Do you think, honestly, the president really and truly knows what's going on? Vote 1 for yes and 2 for no. I say, for the most part, but not really. Does he know everything? Not really. Does he know about every bill? No. The president loves optics. Oh, I love him. Here's my, what am I, not only one, I've got two. Look at this, two miniature statues. I have some of the most, you would find this incredible memorabilia. And I love him to death. But do you really think so? No. Does he know what's going on in Israel? No. No. Does he understand? No. No. Sorry.
Does he
I know.
understand?
I know that's tough to say. I know you're not supposed to say this. I don't think he has the slightest understanding. I don't think he knows anything about what's going on in Russia. I I really don't. And I know we're not supposed to say this. I know we're not supposed to how do I say this, my friends? I know we're not supposed to say this, but I really don't think he knows anything about Russia. I don't think he knows the first thing about any of it. The other day, and this was kind of alarming, the other day when the president came out and he said, I don't know what's going on with Putin. Putin's acting like a great. Putin's acting crazy. You know, I normally get along with old Vlad, but, you know, what the hell is Putin doing? Or what is Putin doing? And Putin's doing all this stuff, and Putin's doing this and that, and blah, 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 blah. And the question I had is, well, do you really think this is, do you really think this is a good deal? I mean, does he really, do you know maybe why Mr. Putin is upset? Do you know why? How about 1,000 or so drone attacks? And they tried to take out his helicopter, and they tried to kill him. Do you think maybe that might have something to do with it? I don't think so. Do you think maybe Mr. Putin might say, I'm a little upset with you? I don't think Trump knew anything about that. I don't think Trump knew the first thing about it. I don't think Marco Rubio knows anything. I don't think Kash Patel knows anything. I don't think Dan Bongino knows anything. I don't think they know anything. I don't know where Bobby Kennedy is. I don't know what he's doing. I know that I think somebody pissed Elon off. Elon could have kept his mouth shut, but listen, this isn't the end of the world, but I don't think a lot of these people know what's going on. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. I don't think they know what's going on, and I really don't think, sad to say, that he's one for a lot of details. I don't think he's running the show when it comes to Israel. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how we are supposed to be, how this country could go this long, slaughtering and massacring innocent people and children this long. How do you think that happens? May I ask you a question? And I'm going to ask you a question. Very, very simple question. I want you to just come forward and be honest with me. Don't lie to me. Be honest. Do you think there is really anything to the argument that the complete and total destruction and annihilation and massacre of Gaza somehow gets to the heart of Hamas? Do you think that Hamas is there? And if you just level Gaza, everything, remove every building, every person, everything, make it uninhabitable, and you just clear it out. Do you think somehow that Hamas is going to go away? Does anybody think that? Does anybody think that? Seriously, does anybody truly think that? Just tell me. It's okay. I mean, it's critical. Does anybody really think that? Does it matter to anybody? I mean, I think it should. Does anybody think so? And I know your reaction is, what can I say that... But do you honestly believe this? Does anybody... No, they're people, they will emerge. Do you think that Hamas is there? That you destroy Hamas like you destroy terrorism, whatever that means? Do you think that's even possible? Do you think that? Do you think it's there? Remember when we went after terrorism in Iraq? Do you remember that? Did we get rid of the terrorists at the time? I don't think so. What do you think? Does anybody grasp this? It's a movement. Look at this. Metal Boss says something very interesting. Metal Boss says, it's a movement. It's not going away. I agree with you 100%. One of the few cogent... And I just don't grasp this. I try not to think. Okay, it's impossible. What's impossible? Do you figure? I know you don't care, right? Deep down inside, you don't care about this, right? Be honest. You don't care. Carol DeJong says, no, it's a fanatic religion. What is a fanatic religion? Hamas is not a religion. What is a fanatic religion? Let's face it. Let me explain something to you. Americans don't give a shit one way or the other. If you said, okay, here's the globe. Where's Israel? Where would you even look? Well, this is most Americans. What happened? I don't know. Look, let me see if I can explain this. You don't understand something. I am part of the United States, and the United States. This is not me, mind you, but we're just too busy for this shit. Yeah, let other people worry about that with their anti-Zionism. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know if they're anti-Semitic. I don't care about this. You don't understand. We don't care about this. I mean, we do, but we don't understand enough about it. Same thing with Ukraine. Well, whatever. And when we say nuke, we really don't think about that. We don't think about that because you got to understand something. We're Americans. We don't. It's not that we wish the worst for people. We don't know these things. We don't care. Oh, we like stuff like low-hanging fruit. There's Corinne Jean-Pierre. I think that'd be a good one because people just love to hate her because she's got those stupid wigs on and everything. But deep down, you do know nothing's going to happen, right? This morning during the radio show. Oh, and by the by, my friend, please, if you believe in that, pray for Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell is up. His life depends on this case, and I don't know how he's doing it. And in the meantime, support him by going to mypillow.com/Lionel. I'm serious. If you really want to help Mike Lindell and help the show, go to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel or /Lionel, whatever you want to do, and do something on behalf. Help Mike Lindell. I mean that. I'm dead serious. He dared to question whether he did it the right way or not. Do you really believe anybody could defame an entire Mike Lindell? Do you understand this? Mike Lindell's got a tremendous story, tremendous background. Support him. But do you think that if Mike Lindell wanted to bring down something, anything, I mean, listen, everybody has a right to go to court, whatever, but I have a hard time believing anybody. You understand this? Missing says, Lionel, I've been hearing about Israeli problems my whole life. And what? What does that mean? You've been hearing about Russia your whole life. You've been hearing about Russia since the Cold War. You've been hearing about Russia, NATO, your whole life. You've been hearing about... so what does that mean? I've been hearing about... Does that mean like, look, I get tired. I give you maybe 1 year, 5 years tops. But after that, I don't really care. Look at this. It says here, I get my pillow, but what about my country? Don't know what that means, but that's okay. But at least Jonathan's on his way. At least he's trying. I love my pillow. I do too. I love it. I love the bolsters. In fact, I got to get more of this. Mrs. L's been on me to get more bolsters. We know more bolsters. I know where Gaza is on the map. Thank you, Missing. Good for you. Thank you. That's good. Mike's deposition was an embarrassment to watch. Okay, Fred. So what are you saying? Should we abandon him? What should we do, Fred? Abandon old Mike? Should we abandon him? Is that what you want to do? What do you do? Middle East fatigue? Question mark. You don't have Middle East fatigue. You got to work something to have the fatigue. Nobody cares about the Middle East. Nobody cares about it. I love my pillow, and we need to stand with Mike and those who are against the attack. Yes. Thank you, home email. Not yes. Stand with Mike. mypillow.com/Lionel. Help him now. Freemason fatigue. It's so whatever. What is Freemason? What do you say? Hey, look who it is. There's Sparky. Sparky says, Count Smirkula doesn't seem much happy with his time with the Biden administration either. Count Smirkula? Now, who would that be? Who would the smirk be? By the way, make sure you catch our interview later on today, 8:30, Sparko. Haven't seen you in a while. Bless your heart. But I catch you on other shows. I see that. By the way, remember, WABC, get the app. Call up. Listen to what we do. Oh, today, you should hear me training these folks as to MK Ultra and everything. They've never heard anything like that. I've got my good friend Sean Atwood's going to be coming up. Whoa, I got Dane Wigington coming on. I got all kinds of people. They're going to go nuts with these folks. They're going to be nuts. I listened to it last night. I got the app. Thank you, Susie Q. The setting and the topic put attitude to the deposition. The setting and the topic put attitude towards deposition. Okay. All righty. I think Mike probably could have done a little bit more study in the deposition. You know who gave the best deposition ever? Epstein. Epstein never said anything. Your goal regarding Epstein, with the deposition, is to say nothing. To say absolutely nothing. Love Atwood. Brad Rung says, I cannot keep it all straight when you're on anymore. I cannot keep it all straight when you're on anymore. What does that mean? Anybody? You and Atwood work well. Yes, we do. He's a fine man. I love when he cracks up sometimes too. I love when he just loses it. Wait till you see what Colonel McGregor does later. 8:30, make sure you subscribe to Lionel Nation. I was honored to speak with him today. Honored. He doesn't know when you're coming on. So, what does that mean? I got notification. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? You're supposed to be subscribed. You're supposed to have this. You're supposed to say, oh, there we go. There we go. He's on. I see a lot of this all the time. Sometimes I'll see Judge Napolitano. Oh, he's on. Oh, this one's on. Oh, this one's on. They don't announce it ahead of time. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. His giggles are gold. I think he misses you. I talked with Sean today, as a matter of fact. We talk on that WhatsApp thing. By the way, that's a wonderful thing. Did you know, you probably didn't know this because I didn't tell you this. Mrs. Alcada and I could not talk to each other on the phone. In our apartment, we're the height or whatever it is, we can't talk. We always have to go to the window and hello. I mean, it's ridiculous. We have to use a landline. But when I use the WhatsApp phone call with her, it's fantastic. It is fantastic. Check out a piece I did yesterday on I argued or debated a liberal. I was on with my good friend Manila Chan, and this guy drove me nuts. He wouldn't answer the question, and he kept trying to impress me with the fact that he went to Columbia University, and he's saying parenthetically how smart he is because he went to Columbia University on some scholarship, but he wouldn't answer the question. He wouldn't answer the question. And the question is, are some people better at certain things than others? Could Asians be better spellers than others? What's the point? And he wouldn't answer my question. Judge hands down ruling over deportation of Boulder attack suspect. This Boulder attack, what is the story? He's a lunatic. Don't get rid of him. Put him away forever. Put him in the worst possible thing. Last night, I couldn't get to sleep at all. In my, how do I say this? In my studio, I have this wonderful piece where I am, how do I say this? In my studio, I have this deal where I get to see various channels. And I see Fox is on one, and maybe there's, let me see, I see Fox, and then I see something else, whatever, I see some other thing. Fox, and then CNN's in another one, and then MSDNC, and then this poor thing called Spectrum. It's interesting, Spectrum. It's funny how the connotations of Spectrum, when you say Spectrum today, it means a whole other thing. Anyway, Spectrum used to be this thing called New York One. Nobody watches it. But last night, Sean Hannity was talking about the auto pen over and over and over, and Biden over and over. Biden is not the president. We're looking at the brink of nuclear war. I asked Colonel McGregor, remember, 8:30 tonight, my friends. Make sure you're subscribed. It drops 8:30. I asked him, I said, do you see it as even remotely possible that we could be in nuclear war one day? He said, yes, absolutely. Yes. Yes. Nuclear war. Yes. And what are they talking about at Fox? Auto pen. I couldn't believe it. And the show, which, I mean, look, I don't want to talk about it. We are this far away from nuclear war. They never talk anything about the Middle East. Have you heard this story about how they think that somehow they wiped out all of Putin's critical bombers or nuclear whatever it is? Have you heard this? That's not true. Have you heard that? It's not true. It's not true in the least, ladies and germs. Not true in the least. None. Didn't happen. They said, look how stupid these Russians are parking their planes. Well, they have to pursuant to one particular treaty, but you have to have them open. Nobody knows what's going on. And you know, I was listening to the great Scott Ritter today, who is absolutely fantastic. I was listening to Scott Ritter. I was listening to how do I say this? These wonderful Scott Ritter was talking about some terrific things. Scott Ritter. Also, banned videos. This is Alex Jones. Fantastic. mRNA concerns. Bobby Kennedy. Palantir. I went through Palantir on WABC this morning. There's a whole other world. Nobody on Fox is talking about this. Gut Bucket's not talking about it. Laura's not talking about it. Nobody on the 5 or the 4 or the 3 or what. Nothing. Nobody on CNN. Nothing. But we're talking about that. Why do you think that is? Why in the name? PSYOP on the sheeples. Get all the words in there. Call it hopium and memory hold. Cognitive dissonance. Controlled opposition. Get all of the words in there that we know. Get all of the words in there that we know, ladies and gentlemen. Get all of the words to make sure we use it, so we use the right jargon. So in any event, also, we had a wonderful concern this morning as I spoke with, it was so good to speak with Peter LaBelle. Great friend. RT George Zamuli, brilliant. And in the UK, they're very concerned about food and about food storage and emergency because they don't know what's happening right now. Because remember, there is a very real and possible chance, closer than ever, that Vladimir Putin could be on the verge of detonating or operating or using a tactical nuke, as he has said from the beginning, if you stop working with him. Do you think Lindsey Graham has any idea of what's going on? Please watch tonight, 8:30. I asked Colonel McGregor, what do you think is Lindsey Graham? What do you think? Give me a psychological explanation. What do you think Lindsey Graham's about? What is he about? Other than the obvious. Because I think Lindsey Graham, I think you know what I mean. Not that it matters, but maybe that's why he's trying to be the tough guy. Maybe he's sublimating somehow. Maybe he's, I don't know what the particular word is. But he said that when John McCain died, there was nobody there to pick up all that money. All that money that was available. All that money. And in order to pick up all that money, you've got to swear certain allegiances to certain factions, certain countries, certain things. not the United States. Not the United States. So it's a wonderful story. So in any event, I hope everybody, he is a traitor. Like Susie says, I used to even like Lindsey Graham, but not anymore. I was ignorant of the situation. No, Susie, sometimes people change. And also, there might be some people who do some good things every now and then. Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal were very important and instrumental regarding, what was that legislation, honey, they were involved in? Was it COSA or something, or Take It Down, or Lindsey Graham and Blumenthal?
Well, Blumenthal's Kids Online Safety Act.
Yeah, COSA.
No, Lindsey Graham was Earn It Act.
Oh, Earn It Act. So he did it. He did some other things too. Mrs. L was in Washington all yesterday. Don't forget, go to Lynn's Warriors. Follow what she's doing. Support her all day. Left at 4 in the morning. Got back about midnight. I mean, it's incredible. She's working her. She knows this. Spends the whole day. And I'm looking at her. We have on our phones. We have little. Where's my phone? So we know, in case one loses it. And I'm watching. I see her on the train, and we're talking. She's at the White House. This is the Capitol, doing so many important things. Where did Pam Bondi go with all the Epstein stuff? Where did Pam Bondi go regarding JFK and LBJ and MLK and RLK and? But as I was saying, every now and then, Lindsey Graham will vote the right way. Klobuchar will vote the right way. Every now and then they'll do it. And when they do, we acknowledge it accordingly. But when they don't, we say the same thing. So, and these people are not traitors per se. They go to Washington, they're saying, listen, I'm representing a valid constituency and a group of people that I believe in, and I'm making a ton of money doing it. And that's the way that goes. So in any event. But as I was saying today, they are planning, they're very, very concerned about food and about a lot of other stuff. That's why I'm going to say this again. I want you to go and look at our sponsors. Prepare with Lionel is still there. Hey, look who it is. Sparky says, you mentioned the other day that you don't hear about South Asian shoplifters. What about gypsies? Those are the Roma. And I don't know, I don't think they're South Asian. They might be. They're more, I think they're more European. Let me see this. Let me see something very interesting. Let's see what our friends at old Chat GPT says. Let's see. Where are Roma and Gypsies from primarily? Let's see what they say about that. This is very interesting. Roma, which is interesting, Arrivederci Roma. Roma refers to as gypsies, pejoratively and inaccurately, are a distinct ethnic group whose origins trace back to northern India, particularly the regions of Rajasthan and Punjab. They originated in northern India. I guess that would be northern India versus southern. But where they are now, Romania, Hungary, Bulgaria, Slovakia, Spain, where they're called Gitanos, like Brazo Gitano, France, Italy, Serbia, also Turkey, Russia, the U.S., Brazil, and Argentina. The term gypsy came from the mistaken belief that they were from Egypt. Did you know that, Sparky? I'll bet you didn't know that. I didn't know that. It's used as a pejorative today. Roma or Romani people. This is the accurate, respectful term. And to speak Romani is an Indo-Aryan language related to Hindi and Punjabi. Traditionally nomadic, though many are now settled, they have a distinct cultural identity, music, crafts, and there you go. So it's a fascinating subject. Did you know that? I'll bet you did not know that. Please use ChatGPT. Please use it for all of your questions and all of your thoughts. So my friends, thank you so much. Spandex Ballet. You mean Spandau Ballet? Spandex. Or maybe that was the joke. Maybe you wrote that. I don't know. Grok I'm finding is very interesting as well, but not necessarily. I still. Anyway, they're both very, very good. I've never seen one, or I've never seen one. How would you know one if you saw one? What does that mean, Wild Bill? What does that mean for me? How would you know? Never seen one. What do they look like? I don't know. How do you know what they look like? I don't know what they look like. So how do you know if you've ever seen it? Anyway, 8:30. Remember, watch the McGregor drop. Thank you so much for that. Claudie, power to the people, Claudie. Thinking of you, sending positive energy to you. All right, my friends. He says, by the way, doesn't President Trump realize Fox News is controlled opposition? There we go. Sparky, do you think President Trump cares about that? When those are the bases of his constituency? Of course not. Of course not. Do you think the president really knows the horror that's going on in Gaza? I don't. I really don't think so. Do you think that Jared Kushner brings it up? I sure as hell know that's not the case. It absolutely blows my mind. And lately, some of the stuff with Judge Knapp, who I have such respect for, and others have been a wonderful counter argument to what's going on. And so remember, my friends, if you watch anything on cable news, anything, you're not going to be getting the truth. I'm sorry. You're not going to be getting the truth. So later on, remember, WABC, please watch it. ChatGPT is quickly becoming my best friend. Fred, you are not going to understand where it is going next. I don't have TV, Jonathan says. Good for you, Jonathan. Do you have a computer? Yes, you have TV. It may not be cable, but you have something equivalent to that. All right, dear friends. Thank you so very much. I want everybody to have a great and glorious day. Sparko, good to see you, my friend. Seriously, always good to see the usual suspects. Thank you for following. Make sure you follow me at Lionel Nation. Make sure you follow me, brother. And how about that poor KJP? Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit about it. But I like the idea that somebody so close to the president leaves the Democratic Party. And if you don't think that symbolism is not critical, you're not paying attention. All right? Okay. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. See you next time. But don't forget, as we always say, follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Don't forget to follow our other channel, Lionel Legal. January 19th at the July. Starts with a J. July 19th at the Cutting Room. Make sure you go online. I want to see you there. We're going to have more fun than a barrel of monkeys, whatever that means. All right, my friends, have a great and glorious day. 8:30 tonight. The big drop, the McGregor interview. Until then, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.